Off-duty NYPD cop allegedly shoots her ex-girlfriend, kills her new lover. An off-duty NYPD cop shot her ex-girlfriend and killed the woman's new lover after catching the duo together at a Brooklyn home on Wednesday night, police and sources said. Yvonne Wu, 31 years old and a 5-year veteran of the force, opened fire on the pair at the ex-girlfriend's house on 19th Avenue near 79th Street in Bensonhurst at about 5 p.m., according to police and law enforcement sources. For those who don't know, Bensonhurst is in Brooklyn, and it's where Brooklyn's Chinatown is located. If you want to go to Chinatown in Brooklyn, not the one in Manhattan, that's where you head. You take the D train to Bay Parkway, you get off there, you're right in Chinatown in Bensonhurst. The jilted lover was waiting outside the home when cops arrived and admitted in a very calm and collected manner that she shot someone inside the house. NYPD Assistant Chief Michael Kemper said at a Wednesday night press briefing. There she is right there in handcuffs, being put into the police car. And there she is right there, Yvonne Wu. She didn't say anything, said neighbor Rocco Burner, 44. She was so quiet, no emotions, nothing. She was handcuffed and they put her in the car. That was it. She didn't fight back or nothing, didn't say a word. Inside, the officers found Wu's ex-girlfriend's new 24-year-old lover, Jamie Liang, splayed out on the living room floor with at least one gunshot to her chest, Kemper said. The ex-girlfriend, 23, was found lying on a bedroom floor with a bullet wound to her torso. Both women were taken to Maimonides Medical Center, where Liang died, police said. Wu's ex was listed in serious but stable condition, according to cops. The officer was in police custody Wednesday night at a local hospital where she was being evaluated. This horrific incident is being treated as a homicide case, Kemper said. Investigators believe Wu was already at the home before the two victims arrived, according to Kemper. It wasn't immediately clear how Wu entered the home, and detectives are looking to see if she trespassed onto the property. I guess that'll be another charge. Trespassing. A 911 call was made from the address of the shooting that painted a dramatic picture of the chaos as it unfolded, according to a high-ranking police source. Right? In the emergency call, a woman can be heard saying, "I told you not to mess with me," the source said. Another woman can be heard saying, "No, please, no, please." Then 4 bangs can be heard on the audio, according to the source. Kemper could not confirm if Wu used her service weapon in the shooting, but said a firearm was recovered at the scene. That's interesting. She actually called 911 while she was about to shoot them. You know? Most times people would murder and they would leave the scene, and then the police have to do an investigation and start trying to figure things out and go from scratch trying to find a killer. But she actually made things easy for the police. She called 911, and then you can hear somebody saying, she said, "I told you not to mess with me." And then he said, "No, please, no, please." Then 4 bangs. So she already knew what she was going to do and called 911. Wow. That's really something. Oh, she made the police work much easier. Isn't that something? Yeah. So another high-ranking police source said Wu and her ex dated for 2 years and broke up 3 weeks ago. So that's interesting. They broke up 3 weeks ago and she already has a new girlfriend. Not that means that the girl should be killed. I don't think so. You know? But wow. That just shows women can be just as bad as men. You know, you see men do a lot of stuff like this, taking revenge. But women can hold grudges just as bad. Wu works in the 72nd precinct and lives on Staten Island, sources said, describing her as a decorated cop who started out her law enforcement career as a member of the NYPD's Explorers program. The officer has received 4 medals and always had good evaluations, sources said. This is out of left field, one source said. Wu worked the overnight shift and was due back to work at midnight. Now this is kind of unusual because in the Chinese Asian community you usually don't really hear stuff like this. You know, stuff like this people try to keep out of the media and out of gossip. You know, it's like when you look at shows like remember those shows like what do you call it, like Jerry Springer and the other show with this guy looking to see who's the father. You know, who's the father? You're not the father. You're not the father. You don't really see much Asians in those shows, you know. And that doesn't mean that they don't have problems like that, but the thing is, they're not really into like airing their dirty laundry in public. Yeah. You see a lot of white, a lot of black, Hispanic, and those shows. Maury Povich, that's the one with You're Not the Father, You're the Father, Jerry Springer, those kind of shows. You don't see much Asians because it's different, even though many of them may be born here, it's like in the culture that's passed down that they don't really go on shows on TV to exhibit this kind of thing. So this is kind of like shocking in a way. What happened, especially she's a police officer, and knowing fully well she planned this out. She called 911 before she even shot and killed a woman and shot her ex-girlfriend. So it's not like it's a mistake. It was planned, so that was premeditated. So, you know, and apparently she was waiting on them. Or that's all premeditation. So going to trial, it'd be very, very hard to say, well, you know, I was upset, I had the gun in my hand, which is the kind of excuses some people make, or some lawyers will come up with, and say, well, yeah, it wasn't really premeditated, and then you try to like see if you can get a deal, like, and say, well, it was manslaughter, you know, gun accidentally went off. No, the gun did not accidentally go off. It was all premeditated. It will be interesting to see how she pleads. Of course, with a lawyer, the lawyer is going to tell her to plead not guilty.